It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have another video suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. Shout out to Link123 for suggesting this video. And if anyone else suggested it, just know that I think I've seen you in here in the server. Shout out to you as well if you did suggest this. But this one is Springtrap's buffs that didn't fix the thematic problem, which you guys have known that I've spoken about Springtrap numerous times in the past, and I think he's pretty bad. Like he's pretty terrible, especially compared to what we expected him to be, especially compared to, you know, the lore and stuff like that. And I think overall, even after all this time, probably still one of the worst killers in the game, I would have to say. Like I would argue he's like a C tier in my opinion. But let's go ahead and get into what Scott has to say. Which we got to see if we agree or disagree. This is going to be interesting.
Killers in that patch, a lot of the killers got very, very minor changes to some numbers, some so small that they're basically imperceptible. So a lot of people were kind of upset with how safe, I guess, the buffs were some killers. But the thing is, Springtrap, he's not like a victim of balance or anything like that. Balance-wise, he's pretty okay, in my opinion. What he fails at, in my opinion, is theming. Thematically, he's just not a good killer. Like, in terms of Five Nights at Freddy's, he just doesn't, despite him literally being Springtrap, you know, the gameplay doesn't really translate super well. So this...
I completely agree with Scott on that statement in particular. You know, people have stated, because I haven't played the FNAF game, so I can't even speak on, like, whether it's accurate or not, or whatever have you. I can't say that with full confidence. What I can say is that from what I've heard, they describe Springtrap to be like the big bad, like the most important villain, like he's like behind it all, some kind of stuff like that, and he's like super powerful or whatever. And then you see him in the game, bro just walks around stomping and throws an axe at you. I'm like, the hell is this nonsense? Like what who let this slide? Like this is like, come on, man. And he's kind of, either you could say like how Scott said, he's like very mid, or he's doo-doo. If you ask me, I think he's really horrible. I'm like, I don't think he's good. I don't think that he should be this bad, considering how popular the game franchise is. Why should he be so horrible? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I've covered in the past different rework ideas that could potentially make the character more interesting and enjoyable to play. That may or may, which probably will never get added, but hey, it's it's nice to imagine a better DVD than the garbage we have now.
This is not like, you know, he needs to be buffed or nerfed or changed or something like that. This is more, the developers said that they were going to address the thematic problem with his kit. And that was, loosely quoting what they said in the video, that they wanted to make interacting with the cameras more impactful. So that aspect of his kit is extremely Five Nights at Freddy's themed. The problem is there's just no real incentive to interact with that mechanic. So I
completely agree with that, and what I've stated in a previous video, which hopefully you guys will check that one out when with the Springtrap rework ideas and stuff like that. But what I had suggested was you could try to use the cams to teleport, obviously for Springtrap. The survivors should probably be able to use that. But what I was thinking was that you can have that area where they go on the cams and make them enter, instead of it being like, oh, they hold on to one door and they look at it. Make them enter the security room to use all the cams like FNAF, and the risk is that if Springtrap goes to teleport, he can potentially grab you, so that you can use the cams for a bit, but if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention, and you're not being aware as to, like, you know, how much time you're spending in there and stuff like that, he has the potential to, if he's gonna go teleport, go grab you, basically, right? And that, I think, would add a little bit of some fear factor to it, adds a little bit of some options for the character, because he already is pretty ass, so, like, you know, at least you give him a little something. And it would also incentivize you using his ability, right? Using the cams as well to be able to find out where he is. And that's just like a small aspect of like the other changes that were being listed, but that's something that really stuck out to me, because I thought that that would be quite literally super thematic, because you have that whole cam look, and you could swap cams and all that kind of stuff in the camera thing, but you don't even have a risk of getting grabbed because he has to guess the correct door. That's stupid. Why don't you make it so you have to physically enter the actual security room as a survivor, and then while you're in there, he can potentially come in if you're not careful. You know what I mean? Because it's like at the end of the day, you're going into the security room where bro is walking through. Like, you're gonna get found. So it's like, that's how you make it more interesting. And obviously you can tie that into maybe he has some kind of power that you can like use the cams to counter or something like that. So you're directly interacting with the killer and also using the cams and stuff like that. But of course, they're not going to do that because why would they? But obviously, you know, when the players who actually have good ideas and imagination will actually be able to come up with interesting ideas that could be really well done in execution.
Is potentially very well made in terms of the theming of the character, but the mechanic that actually has the theming is something no one interacts with, because it's always better to just do generators than maybe occasionally reveal his aura for 5 or 6 seconds or something like that. It just doesn't actually end up being worth interacting with it. So it's so close to being good, but when they said they were going to change that, I got really excited. And what did they do? Nothing. They just made it so the battery consumption for using the cameras was decreased, which doesn't do anything, because it's like if a restaurant was like selling diarrhea for $5 and no one bought the diarrhea, and then they're like, okay, you know what, diarrhea is only 99 cents now. No one's gonna buy it. It's so fucking diarrhea. No one's gonna interact with it. So it doesn't solve.
That right there is how I would describe like playing DBD. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving out this dog shit experience. You're giving out the diarrhea in this case, and then they're asking you to pay for it. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't want to buy it. And it's like, okay, well, you don't want to buy it? Let's lower the price. And it's like, no, it's still diarrhea. Like, that's how I would describe the DBD experience, especially as a killer player. Like, as a survivor player, I mean, yo, you're eating good. Like, enjoy. You know what I mean? You're getting gourmet fucking, you know, plated, nice and wonderful, shiny little utensils and beautiful cups full of the most finest of wine, if you decide to swift up, of course. And of course, don't forget, you know, steak, extra juicy, you know what I mean, medium rare type shit. Like, it's insane. And then you go, okay, I'd like something, and then as a killer player, you're like, here's your diarrhea, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, where's our stuff? Like, where's our buffs? Where's our changes? And then we finally get some, and it's nothing. You either get diarrhea or nothing. I'm like, come on, man. Where's, like, I don't understand, dude. Like, these characters are so horrible. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't understand. Like, they have like these so lackluster character powers that constantly fall to the wayside in the lowest tiers. Like, oh my goodness. Like, it makes no sense that the licensed characters in this game that people come into the game for are some of the worst characters in the goddamn game. Nemesis, Pig, Ghostface, which, I mean, it's the mask, but you get the idea. The character who wears the mask is Doodoo. Then you have freaking Pig. Like, well, Vecna, surprisingly, he's actually a pretty good killer, so that's a shock. Xeno's terrible. Nemesis is terrible. Oh my god, Wesker has gotten terrible after getting power crept by everybody else. It's like, Christ almighty, like, what is going on with these damn licenses, dude? It's kind of sad. I'm like, what is going on? This, to me, like, Springtrap being horrible, to me, is like a symptom of the greater problem with the licenses in this game. Like, they constantly add these characters and they're always bad. I'm like, come on, man. The only exception you could say was Kaneki, but even then he got nerfed pretty hard and he's just an A tier. So, like, I'm not really worried about him. You know, Freddy came out, he was overpowered, then became doo-doo, and now he's okay again. Jesus, like, Myers was like horrible for quite some time, but thematic, and then now he got gutted pretty hard, so now he's just not very interesting in my opinion. He's not even Myers anymore. He's just Man with Dash. Like, he's then he got removed, of course. Pinhead's horrible too. Like, Bubba's not that great. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like the list goes on. It's like, what is going on, dude? It's just like, wow. Like, even Pyramid Head got hit pretty hard with that rework. I used to love the old Pyramid Head because it was a lot more I used to get a lot more cool snipes. That was really fun. That now they shortened his range so hard. It's just Nemesis, but like through the wall. What the hell am I playing that for? Like, come on. Like at that point, and then of course Shift W, so like they don't even point in playing him either. It's horrible. Anyway,
solve the actual issue. You need to actually make it incentivized to interact with that mechanic where there's just no reason for it to exist.
Exactly.
So that's, I think, what we need to focus on, and maybe we can give some suggestions to the devs of what they should actually be doing in terms of fixing that problem. So there's a number of things you can do. The first thing we need to address is how are we going, which direction are we going to go? So there's two paths. The first path is you're making it so that the effects of revealing Springtrap are stronger, like it slows him down or removes his axe for X amount of time or just something like that.
Now, my only like issue with that idea, what that Scott is suggesting, is that that could be easily abused, and then a character that's already pretty mid to ass becomes even more garbage and becomes a D tier, because the counter would be so easy and so powerful that it's like no point in playing the character. Like to me, it's like Xenomorph all over again, where it's like the turrets are not only the complete opposite of what the Xenomorph even does in the goddamn movie, because it's supposed to be a stealthy character, and you're hearing doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, instead of him just like instead of it just sneaking up to you, which is what it does in the goddamn movie. You don't know that they're there, and whatever. That's my problem with that suggestion. My suggestion for that, complete rework, okay? At least add more parts of the power, because there's no reason that we should be having just man with axe. What the hell are we doing? This is supposed to be the Springtrap from FNAF. Why are we having such a mid character? Like it's so horrible. I don't understand, dude. And I've spoken to a few different people that have been fans of the FNAF, and they're disappointed. Like they're like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? And it's like, good lord, dude. Like I feel like this power could have been a different character entirely, and it probably would have fit better, but not this guy. Like, no. Now, obviously, I can't, like, if we're gonna keep him with what he has now, we have to at least lean into what the cams do, because that is literally FNAF, is it not? Like, you're in a security room, right? So, like, why don't we take some of that part and put it in there and make it more of an important part of the power, and then add more elements to his main power? You know, like more stealthy stuff, like, you know, get more undetectable, and I think the fake Bennett has suggested like a tear radius decreasing sort of like power kind of thing, and I thought that would be sick. Like that would be incredible. That would be really cool. Like where it like decreases over time, and then you have to reveal him with the cam, so it reactivates, and like it'll, you know, obviously he has to, you know, then walk around with his regular tear radius. So then it's not like super crazy because he's undetectable, but you still hear him stomping. But then it also requires you to actually use it so he doesn't have like constant undetectable. It's not bad. I can't really say I remember the rest of the power suggestions, which you should check out that video if you do want to hear the rest of it. But those are my thoughts, really. I mean, I want to know what you guys think, of course, in the comment section. The original video for this is in the description, so you can watch the full thing that Scott is talking about. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe, become a member on YouTube or Patreon if you want to support and look at some exclusive content for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members: Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Cargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.